Dion here. Welcome to another episode of my Sullust table build. Today I'm going to run you through what I've been up to. I've been fairly busy and it's been a few weeks since I've updated my video, so stick around and I'll show you what I've done. Here's the overview of my table's progress. I'll zoom in on a few key items for you guys. So these are my Tabana gas refineries or gas tanks. I got the model for them off Thingiverse for free and then had them 3D printed. They're quite simple to go together. They're all broken up into individual parts. They all slotted together. So what I've done is just got a actual coaster here that I picked up from Bunnings, nailed a hole, drilled a hole, put a nail through the center, drilled a hole up through here and basically glued it all together. I used a bunch of green stuff around the base. You can see there it looks like a round mound just to try to give it some stability. And then what I've used for the base, I've actually used cork tile here. So I bought a whole sheet of them. You can pick them up. I think these cost me 13 Australian dollars for six of these. They're just 1 foot by 1 foot square tiles, 6mm thick. So you basically just rip them up into pieces. It's really quite soft. It just breaks. Often I'll use some pliers. Basically all I'll do is, you don't want to have any flat square edges, so you just grab them off. See, it just breaks apart nice and easily. Then you can use super glue or PVA glue and stick them on top of each other to make some interesting features. So now you're looking at the Battle Kiwi Kickstarter laser tower. Now this thing is pretty cool. It goes together fairly easy. It's not the easiest things to build, but it looks pretty cool, the end product. So it actually comes with quite a large round base like that. As you can see, these little notches here slide into there. But you have a look at that there, and the base just looks a bit, to my preference, looks a bit odd. So I've ditched the base. Square objects on round bases always look a bit odd. So I will get around to filling this up to make it flat. You could cut off these legs, but then you're losing a bit of height. So I'm going to build it up. So the key component to these laser towers for me was to make it spin. The stock standard build doesn't spin. What it has is it's got an internal wall, and the internal wall comes up on all four sides. So all you can do is put it down 1, 2, 3, 4. But I didn't want that. I want my tower to be able to spin. So all I did, it was quite simple really. I cut it flat, and then inside, all I've done is used offcuts of MDF. This one here was from another brand of MDF train, and I've put a cross beam in there, drilled a hole dead center, and glued a dowel in. I used a spare ring that I had left over from my turret. And then all you want to do is fill in the gaps. For this it's just very thin plasticard. I've just cut angles, super glued it in just to make it nice and flush. Likewise, did the exact same thing for the top. See, it's pretty rough, but it doesn't really matter. Cross beams, there's some bracing in under there, and another circular dowel, circular ring under there. Then basically all you do, line them up, chop it down, there you go. Spins perfectly. As you can see from the height to depth ratio, it's generally pretty square. My personal preference would have been to have the base taller than the top. It looks a bit top heavy, but that doesn't really matter. So I've built 2 of these, and I've got a third to do. I've built more of the Kickstarter train. So here's just a comms tower. All pretty cool. I mean, with MDF train it's always going to look quite blocky and square and not very smooth, but for what it is, for how much it costs, for how easy it's put together, great stuff. Here's some more Battle Kiwi train. This is a barricade. These would have to be actually one of my favourite things from the Kickstarter, just about. They're just so simple. It's a front, 2 sides, and a detailed bit. And they're just simple. Put them there, perfect height for men to stand behind. Other items I've got are these round crates. Again, they look a bit blocky, but they look pretty good, and you know, it's easy to do, it's quite cost efficient, and you can just use them, you know, just scatter them around wherever you want. You can either build a bit of a base and build a diorama so it's always permanently set, or you can just leave them and scatter them around as needed. So I've got a few more of these. It's more square bases. I need to do a bit more sanding, as you can see, stacking MDF on top of each other. It's a bit hard to have it perfectly flush every single time. So I got a bunch of these. I think I got about 8 of these, and then they've got these square crates. You'll be quite familiar with these. You've seen them all over the internet. People either 3D printing them, casting them in resin. They're just very Star Warsy. Next up we have the Scatter Wars Workbench. So I really quite like this. It's simple, it's efficient. It's just this nice big flat area. It comes in 2 parts. Got these little clips here to clip it together. You can just put it down, and there you go. It's a big workbench. A couple of key things that also came in the bunkers and the Scatter Wars. Some of these nifty little control terminals. It comes with this little rubber tube. It's got a few acrylic pieces in it. See, I've started to sand it down to make it look a bit round. I'm working my way around there. That one's pretty cool. Then we've got all these computer terminals that came with the bunker. These things are just grouse. Once again, you do have the problem with the MDF that you're trying to make square things, make a smooth finish, so you end up with, you know, there's a gap there, you know, there's gaps in there. But in time you can either just paint it or leave it as is, or you can come back and fill those gaps in. I do plan to paint my terrain, so I will come back and fill these gaps in when I have time. There's that one. This is might be a fan favourite here. This is the trench run. There's down the trench. There's the targeting system. Once again, another cool computer terminal. And lucky last, this big bad boy. It's got a Death Star in it. So this, I imagine, is some sort of Death Star shield generator control terminal. Alright, so this is my bunker. The bunker does look cool. I like its functionality over some of the ones you've seen based on the movie. The movie has a flat roof, whereas this one here has a parapet. I've left it parapet. So with the parapet, you know, men can hide behind here. You know, it becomes a bit more functional for a war game. Got these little funky, I don't know what they are, little mini shield generators. So the beautiful thing about this piece of terrain is the roof comes off. Then inside, it's a nice big open space. You know, this is where these are to go. You know, put them in the sides there. Adds a bit more detail. I'm not too fussed about the inside, to be perfectly honest. War games like this get a bit fiddly when you start having people walk around inside things, so I probably won't detail the inside. A couple of key features to note. The back wall comes out. So if you did have it being able to play through there, you know, you can have it in the middle of your table and people can walk through. So I thought that was a pretty nifty feature. Goes through there. Then we have the doors. So the doors are pretty cool. So the feature about the doors is they have these little clips on there, and then there's a rail inside here. So the idea is you can put your doors in here, take off your roof, then that little rail will have a little handle out here, and you can slide your doors backwards and forwards. I will get around to doing that, but like I said, I'm going to paint it, so I need the doors out to be able to do that. One of the letdowns for the kit for me was the outside is cardboard. It's not the best, to be honest. I don't see why it couldn't have been done with MDF. It would have been a lot more sturdy. This, you know, PVA glue, paint, it's quite soft. I had a few accidental, I got a bit distracted. I was building terrain, gluing the two bits together. I left my masking tape on it overnight, Unfortunately, when I came to peel off my masking tape, it thought it would take the cardboard outer covering with it, or the paint. I think it's a bit of paint and cardboard. I try my best to not do that, but yeah, that's how it is. It's not too fussed about it because I will paint over it, but yeah, it's something to be careful of if you are building these, and that is to be extra careful around the edges here. And you can see there, that's just a bit of wear and tear there. Not too fussed about it for now, but just something to be mindful of. So this is the huge infamous landing pad, cut down to my preference of half a landing pad. So all I did to make it the half, you can see here the notches where the other half would come into it. I used leftover pieces of MDF and glued them in, similar to the sides, glued it in flush. It would have worried me forever having these, you know, jagged like that. So that's an improvement. And for me, I'm quite happy with only 3 sides having the railings, because the way I see it, if you look at the battlefield overview, you know, guys up here sit across here, shoot this way. But then if you're a spaceship, you know, you can come flying in through here, you're not impeded by the rail, you can land. So quite like that feature. Also, another thing I did was only build it 1 story high. So the actual Kickstarter kit does come with this plus another one. So the top of the tower sits up, you know, up here. It stands at approximately 20 centimeters tall. So when it's that high, we know that range 1 guns are 6 inches and range 2 guns are 12 inches. So if I put this ruler here on the angle, you can see that's range 2 there. So that's vast majority of guns shoot range 2 or range 3. So if you're up here, you know, you're going to have quite a fair bit of reach to be able to shoot, and it looks cool. Also got one of the cool bits of this kit is the lights. So the landing tower has 1, 2 and 3 potential doors, and the 4th one at the back is the bridge that connects the 2 towers. So I'm not having the bridge, so you can see I've filled that in. That was easy enough to do. The connectors that connect in there to support the bridge, I just pushed them in from the other side and glued them in place. Likewise here, as you can see, I didn't want gaps, so again I've just cut a piece of MDF to suit and glued it in. Now at this point I did realise my mistake, because when I was building this, didn't quite know what I was going to do. You can see the imprint of a door here, where there's not going to be a door. If I would have figured that out earlier, I could have flipped this board module, flipped it and put it on the other side, so you wouldn't see that. But that means now I'm going to basically have to, I think I could just put some putty in there, or some thick paint or glue. It should cover it up fairly well. So the plan is, what I had from my very first video, the plan was to have the landing tower in some rocks and over. So what I've done, constructed these 2 bits and the ladder, and what I'm going to do, seeing as I've lifted it up on a whole bunch of timber, because I want it a bit higher because I want to have mountains and stuff. What I've done is I've cut a piece of MDF to suit the raised positions. It's actually going to be floating up about there. So again, I'm going to use some of the cork tile, try to add a bit of depth to the board. So I will build this up into layers, have it, you know, people can step, or people on this side can hide behind it. And we're going over, sorry about that, going over the lava. There you have it, guys. That's my progress on the table. So in my upcoming weeks I will be building 1 more laser tower, and for that I shall be doing a step-by-step how-to, just to show you how I did this a bit more detailed, what I did and once you see it, it's simple as everyone will be doing it, because spinning laser towers are awesome. So thanks for watching. I hope you tune into my next video. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my Facebook page for all updates, because I will be up working on the table throughout the week and updating as I go. Thanks guys, thanks for watching, see you later.